Hello, my friends, and welcome to the next video in the Create Better Content series, where I show you how to tap into your creativity so that you never run out of content ideas again. My name is Penny, and I'm going to be your guide through this unique creative content development process. I want to teach you how to create more engaging content for social media, more remarkable content for your sales pages, and all of these things combined, they're going to help you reach more qualified customers. And if you want to learn more about creativity and how this can help you develop your content marketing plans, I would love to see you hit that button below and subscribe to this channel. And below in the description box, you are going to see a whole bunch of links. The first link that you're going to see is for the Content Calendar Blueprint Program. This is an email-based training that I have produced that's like a guide, and it's going to help you develop a content calendar, and it's going to be tailored to your business's needs and where you are in your growth. And the best part of this program is that you already have access to all of the different paths, whether you're a starter, whether you're a grower, whether you're launching something. And all you need to do is just come back to this program, click on the link, and it takes you to the content calendar process that you need for your business. And the second link that you see, so that you can subscribe and join us in the Create Your Business program. We have a Patreon group called the Marketing Strategy Collective, where you can personally go through this process with me, and you can develop remarkable content in a supportive group. You know, we're all there online, and we're talking with each other, and we're helping each other. So click on the link below and see what happens with your marketing strategy when you experience these creative activities, and you don't have to do it alone. So you've got the links down there in the description box, and you all know what to do if you want to learn more. So today's video, we're going to stay on content calendars, but I want to talk about a specific piece of the content calendar that actually helps you with your marketing plans to help you repurpose and repurpose your content, especially with regards to what I refer to as evergreen content. And I want to talk a little bit about how to update your popular content and to repurpose it, and basically, share it, reach new audiences in a way for them to take action. So let's talk about this, because I want to let you know that your content calendar is more than just the actual calendar with a bunch of squares, and you're going to say, okay, today I'm posting on Facebook, today I'm doing LinkedIn, today I'm on TikTok. It's more than that. It's a planning tool. It's a strategy tool. And one of the things that your content calendar can do is can help you with your evergreen content. And your evergreen content is basically content that you've created, and it could be videos, it could be blog posts, it could be any kind of long form type of content that you have out there that stays relevant, and it's consistently driving traffic, sometimes months or even years at a time. I actually have a blog post, and I'll give you an example of this. I have a blog post that I wrote that's for 10 social media things that you can do in 15 minutes. I wrote that blog post, I don't even remember. It was years ago. It's been so long I can't even remember the date on it. And I have gone in there and I've updated. And I did all the things that I did that I'm going to talk about today. But it consistently brings me traffic. It consistently brings me traffic because of the SEO values, because of the keywords, because of the topic. It's relevant and it drives traffic all the time, and not just months. I mean, it's been driving traffic to my website for years and getting people on my email list. So when we think about evergreen content, it's something like that. It's not, set around a specific, date of time frame. It's mostly about topics that people are going to be interested in, no matter what year it is, because it's always going to be relevant for their business. And it's definitely going to be something that's going to be popular with your industry. It's going to be popular with your audience. So the goal is for the evergreen content to be consistently driving traffic to your site. And, if you think about it from this perspective, let me show you, here's some things when I'm talking about that is not evergreen. Like, evergreen is not seasonal. Like Christmas gift ideas. That's not evergreen because in the summertime, it's not very helpful. Something that's not evergreen are announcements. I'm just launching this. I'm just posting this. Or we're just now, starting this. because you've already launched it. Again, 6 months from now, 9 months from now, a year from now, is it still relevant? So we want to think about it from that perspective. Another thing I could think about with regards to evergreen content is like temporary issues, like something that's happening in the sports, if it's the Super Bowl or if it's the World Series. Those things are really popular at that moment. But when the series is over, when the game is over, maybe it'll stick around for about a month or two. But again, a year from now, 6 months from now, 9 months from now, all those kinds of things, is it still going to be relevant? So if we think about evergreen content, it's a topic that people are not going to be losing interest in, and it's something that they're going to be consistently searching for online. So if we think about from that perspective, so put all that together when it comes to your evergreen content. But how does this evergreen content actually bring traffic to your site? Because it's the content itself that answers the question that people are online looking for. So if you can assume that people are regularly searching for this particular topic, and this is something that keeps showing up in your Google Insights, this is something that keeps showing up on your email, people clicking on these links, this is the type of content that you would consider evergreen content. So when we talk about evergreen content as a piece of our marketing strategy, because we're going to be creating new content as frequently as we can in whatever capacity that we're able to manage, but we are going to make sure that within our content calendar, we want to be sharing some evergreen content. And when we put that evergreen content in, if we did this 6 months ago or maybe even a year ago, we want to make sure that we're updating the information to that content, especially if it's a blog post, and we can go back in there and make these kinds of updates. So no matter how hard you are working to create that evergreen content, you still have to update it occasionally. Because here's the thing, folks, stuff changes over time. New research comes out, new tools come out, and your content becomes less fresh. So you want to keep your content ranking on, with the SEO value. You need to make sure that you update it. Because if somebody's looking for the answer for a question that they are consistently typing in, and they come to your site, you want to make sure that even if you've written this content a year ago and you wanted to update it because now the tools have changed, or the data has changed, or the insights have changed, or something has changed, and you just want to update it, that's what we want to make sure, that somebody stays on there and they don't look at your post and go, oh, this was like a year ago, this is not relevant to me. So you want to make sure that when somebody does find you and they land on your site, whether they're watching a video, whether they're reading a blog post, that your content is updated. And you're basically giving it, like, when you do update it and you give it like a new posting date, so to speak, it actually gives your content, especially if it's a blog post, an instant boost with the search engines, because the search engines think you've just created new content because you've just updated it and you've added all of this stuff. So when I'm talking about updating, let's get real specific here. I mean, like, maybe you have to change out some stats to it. Maybe you need to, the name of the tool changed. It's no longer, the XYZ tool. Maybe it's now the ABC tool. So you want to make sure that you have that kind of information. Freshening up your images on that pages actually gives you a boost with the SEO engines as well. Change out any outdated information, statistics if they change. If you are quoting something, if this is what happened in 2023, and now we're in 2024, and you have new numbers, put those in there. Go back and double check your spelling and phrasing. Are you now using different words? Are you now focusing on a different type of pain point? Is there something that you could phrase better and change it out differently? So that's what I mean when it comes to updating your evergreen content. So let's talk a little bit about how to use your content calendar with this evergreen content. So you know now which content is gonna is what you would refer to as your evergreen content. You've gone through the work, you've updated this content, so now you want to repurpose it. And when you're repurposing this gives you the opportunity to reach an even larger audience than when you first posted this content. So you can use your content calendar to see where in your calendar that you can repurpose this content. Where does it fit into the content flow? How can you reach more people to drive, this more more people to your site? How can you connect with more potential customers? And here's some of the things that we would do. Let's say you've got this blog post that you've written, just like mine. I'll use my blog post. So my 10 ways to use social media in 15 minutes. Let me show you how to repurpose this. So I could repost this content. So if I put it onto LinkedIn, I can repurpose this content. Let's say I put it, I can now create 2 or 3 Pinterest pins, and I can post it on Pinterest now. I could take this blog that I've written, and I can use this for content. I could create some content for a podcast or a video episode like I'm doing. Like I could basically read my blog post and then just kind of add to it as I'm speaking through it. I could take this blog post and find somebody who does a social media work, like maybe who's a social media VA, and I could do an interview with her. And I could run through all these things, and I could say, okay, here's my top 10 list of things that I could do in 15 minutes. If you, as a social media, a VA, what do you think about these things? Or what would you contribute to it? So we could turn my blog post into an interview by using this content. I could pull one of these tips, because I had 10 tips on there. I could turn one of them into an image quote. And I could think about, I could share this online on Instagram. I could share this on, onto Facebook. I could use one of those tips and turn it into a little video on TikTok. So do you see what I'm saying here? I took one blog post and I found a way to repurpose it. So when we're looking at evergreen content, it's not just about, having to create something from scratch. It's taking something that we know is popular, that we know people are searching for, that we know is driving traffic to our website, and updating it and reusing it, repurposing it, so we can connect to more potential customers. And when we're doing this, when we're using our content calendar, we can make sure that when we're putting these repurposed pieces of content into the calendar flow, into the workflow of this is what I'm doing this week, this is what we're doing next week, and it all makes sense because it allows us now to continue consistently sharing content without having to create something from scratch every single day. Because when we repurpose content, it is just above and beyond time saving. Because when we repurpose things like this, it allows you to consistently get more content out there, and it consistently sharing your marketing messages without burning yourself out by having to think about every single day creating a new piece of content. And when we rework this stuff, whether it's putting in new keywords, whether it's changing out the images, whether it's just adding new content like updating the statistics or things like that, this is going to boost your SEO efforts. So it's going to allow for those search engines to have multiple pieces of content that you have that's targeting similar keywords. So it's going to allow for that organic search to increase. Because when we're repurposing our content, especially this type of evergreen content, it's going to be, quite honestly, if it's done correctly, a really big part of your content strategy, because it's not going to force you to have to create a brand new piece of content every single day or every single week. Because when you repurpose your content, it helps you, from constantly having to try to come up with new ideas. And when we use our content calendar, your content calendar is going to give you the full picture of what's going on with your marketing plan. And you can see how you can get the best, the maximum use out of each piece of these repurposed pieces of content that you decide to publish. So when we think about it from this perspective, you can see now how your content calendar is a planning tool. It's a strategy tool. It's a tool that's going to help you save time, because it's going to allow you to see where you can put pieces of evergreen repurposed content throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout, whatever it is that you're working towards. And so when we put our calendar in there, we put it in the calendar itself. It's like it allows us to remind us that we are repurposing. And when you include this strategic step in your content calendar and you make it a part of your content calendar workflow, you start looking for ways to repurpose. And when you're repurposing your content like this, it's going to help you grow your reach. You're going to be able to schedule this in your content calendar. You're going to be able to see what you're sharing, and you're going to be able to know what messages are going out there so that you can start sharing your best marketing content to grow your business and reach more customers. So thank you so much for joining me today on this creative journey. If you've enjoyed this content about creative content development, I hope you'll hit the share button, and let's keep this conversation going. Because when you're creating content every week, especially this evergreen content that we're talking about, and if you're not repurposing and you're not using your content calendar the way that you should be, it is so easy to get overwhelmed. Because when you don't have a solid strategy for your content calendar, it feels like there's too many things going on. There's too many steps you have to take. There's too many things you have to create. There's too many things you need to manage. And it just all feels too much because you don't know what you don't know. And this just leads you to feeling frustrated. And you want to be able to share all of this amazing work with everything that you've been doing. So I can tell you, my friends, I have been in business for over 20 years, and I have mastered the art of teaching others how to develop their consistent content creation strategy. And I put everything that I've learned from working all these years with all these clients in developing a consistent content creation plan, and I put it into the Content Calendar Blueprint program. So the link is below so that you can get more information and you can learn how to grow your business and your content strategy, and as your business starts to evolve. Because you are magnificent, my friend, and let me be the first to say, I'm proud of you. Until next time.